Never Stop Learning, week 281. We're going to take a quick look at the Type Mask tool in Adobe Photoshop CC 2017. Alright, so you can activate this tool over here on the left in the Tools panel. First, you're going to find the Horizontal Type tool. If you click and hold, you're going to find the Vertical Type Mask tool, and you're also going to see the Horizontal Type Mask tool. Alright, so they pretty much work the same, and in this demo, I'm going to stick with the Horizontal Type Mask tool. Alright, so now that I got it activated, notice my cursor is ready for me to start typing, but I also wanted to show you guys that over here at the top, you could change to whatever font you want to use. You could change the size. I'm going to go with a center justification, and for the color, I'm actually going to ignore that for now because the Type Mask tool is going to leave us with a selection, so there's really no need for me to pick a color. Alright, so let's get going with this guy. I'm going to click right here in the center of my document and notice everything turns red. Alright, that's not a bad thing. What you're seeing here is pretty much like a rubylith. This is a quick mask mode, and Photoshop's just showing you the portion of your layer that it's going to be ignoring. Alright, so let me just type in some text here. I'm going to go with San Diego. Alright, now before I accept this change, I want to make a couple changes to my text. Notice it's kind of small, so it's hard to read. So I'm going to select all my text by hitting Command A. I'm working on a Mac. If you're working on a PC, it's going to be Control A. Alright, now I got all my text selected. Over here at the top, I could choose a different font size, but in this situation, it would probably be best if I were to just hold down the Command key and then grab one of these corners, click and drag to increase the size of my text. Now, before I release, I'm going to bring in the Shift key to keep things nice and proportional. And I'm going to hold down the Option key so that I could grow out from the center. Alright, I'm going to release the mouse first, then the modifiers. Now, everything looks really crazy right now, so I'm going to hit the right arrow key just to deselect my text. Alright, so let's take a look at what's going on here. So the stuff in red is going to be outside of our selection. What's going to be inside of our selection is right there where you can actually see through and see our image. Alright, now this looks pretty good, so I'm going to accept this. I'm going to hit Command Return. If you're using a PC, it's going to be Control Enter. And this tool leaves us with these marching ants, or a selection. Alright, so because we're left with the selection, I wanted to show you how to work with this. Alright, now if you want to move your selection, the first thing you might think of doing is hitting the V key so that you could activate the Move tool. Now, if you were to do that, you can click and drag, but you're actually going to be cutting away that portion from your image. And keep in mind over here in the Layers panel, I'm using a pixel-based layer. It's not like a smart object or anything. Alright, so Command Z to undo. Now, you could also do some cool effects with that, like if I just offset this slightly, something like, I don't know, something like that, and then deselect it. Then you get this kind of cool drop shadow effect. Now I'm going to go back a couple steps. So I'm going to hit Command, Option Z, and Z again. And if you're using a PC, it's going to be Control Alt Z. Alright, so I have my selection. How do I reposition this just so that I'm targeting a different section of my image? Back over here in the Tools panel, just select any of your selection tools. Alright, you could use your marquees, your lassos, even your quick selection. I'm going to go with the marquee, just because I feel like it, I don't know. Now, one thing to note is, notice my cursor right now, it's ready to create a new selection. And that's not what I want. I want to come inside to my content. Notice the cursor changes now. All I'm doing is hovering over the text. My cursor changes and it's telling me that I'm actually going to be moving my selection. So I'm going to click and drag. I'll bring this guy over here towards the left. And there you go, I'll just drop it off there. Alright, now I want to resize this guy. So while I still have this marquee tool, I'm going to right click and then choose Transform Selection. Alright, so I'm going to grow this guy out from the corner, hold down Shift, and then release. Alright, this looks good. I'm going to accept that change. Alright, so I've got a great selection here, and now I'm ready to create a mask with this selection. So over here in the Layers panel, I have my layer targeted. Down at the bottom, I'm going to choose this option here for Add Layer Mask. When you click on it, you're just masking away the rest of the image. So remember all that stuff that was in red? All that stuff's gone. Alright, now, over here in the Layers panel, we still have our original image, and it's linked to our mask. Alright, so there's a couple things you could do here. If you grab your move tool, click and drag, you're moving both the mask and the image. So I'm going to undo that. I'm going to break this link, make sure that my mask is targeted. I could tell it's targeted because I have these corners highlighted. All right, so now if I come back in here with the move tool, click and drag, I'm repositioning my mask. So now I could target different areas of this image. So if my client says they want to see more boats, there you go, they got more boats. If my client says they want more sky, not a problem. Got more sky right here for them. All right, now just remember, back in the layers panel, you want to reconnect them using this link. That way, if you reposition them, they both come along for the ride. All right, last thing I wanted to show you is if you double click on this layer, you could do some cool effects. I'm just going to throw a stroke on this, click OK, and now it's making my text stand out even further, and I could keep working with this to get a really cool effect. So there you have it, folks. That's a quick look at the Type Mask tool in Adobe Photoshop CC 2017.